Hey, how we doing today? It's a brand new day. My favorite phrase to say is I am double K, K double if you're nasty. And I am here for the Cheap Pop Podcast with my brother from another mother, the one and only Alpha. How we doing today, brother?
The other half of the show here, and this time we're talking big men sweating and throw each other the fuck around. And this time we are back in full capacity. We're rolling with money in the fucking bank. One of my favorite shows in all of the entire year, just for pure stipulation purposes.
Money, money, money,
So juiced,
money.
so juiced. One of the best shows of the year too.
All right, so Money in the Bank, and as a whole, to me, was a really good pay-per-view. I don't understand those that don't say that they don't give credit where credit's due. I thought in ring it was very well done. I thought that the addition of let's talk about that for a quick minute before we dive into the card too. The addition of the live crowd.
Yeah, a live crowd. It made the difference. It made the difference.
Hold on. Sorry.
All good. All good.
I saw a lot of potential in the card when I read it, but I didn't see as much potential as what ended up happening.
I agree.
And I think we got a lot of surprises. I think we got a lot of swerves. And I think a lot of it was due to there being a live audience again. The audience was energetic. I think it took them a little bit to get back into the flow of things as far as, you know what I'm saying? Because to me, the crowd kind of felt a little dead. As good as the women's Money in the Bank ladder match was, I felt the crowd was a little dead during. I felt like the crowd was a little dead for that one. But by the time we got to the main event of Roman Reigns versus Edge, the crowd was hot.
You're right.
And I enjoyed it. So, like I said, I think it took them a minute to get into it, but once they did, they were into it.
The crowd made all the difference from start to end throughout the whole pay-per-view. You know, like the moment there was a reaction right in the beginning, the moment that they would react to hearing the promos begin, and more importantly, throughout the entire show, when themes would hit, hearing the crowd actually react again was something new. And I personally very much valued the first response in a live crowd setting to Roman's new theme. Something about Roman's theme hitting and then an instant reaction. I like that. I felt that through the screen. I like that shit.
Oh yeah, and like I said, from the open on, the crowd felt like they were into it. But like I said, I felt like there was a build to how, because if you take the reaction to say the pre-show match that we're going to talk about,
kind of like a Japanese crowd, kind of like a Japanese crowd.
The Usos winning the titles in the pre-show, which we're going to get to in a second. If you take that reaction versus the reaction for Edge's music when he hit for that main event, that pop, that energy, that it was just. Like I said, it took them a little while to get into it, but by the main event, they were there for it. They was into it. But let's kick off with that pre-show match and that big victory by Jimmy and Jay as they took on the Mysterios for the tag team championship. I wanted it, but I didn't expect it. I wanted the family to be complete with all of them holding titles.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I truly didn't expect it. I was like, nah, maybe they're going to hold off for that. But it looks like we're going to get it. We got it.
Yeah. I didn't think we were going to see that trifecta completed yet. And I'm always happy to see this when it's done right. And in this case, it was. The fact that they didn't throw the straps right on the brothers right away did a very good effect here. And honestly, before we fully delve into the massive weight of this storyline, because of this, I do want to say that throughout the entirety of the year, Dominic has been showing an incredible level of improvement in the ring. You know, having him work alongside Ray isn't just like some image thing, like a father and son thing. To some degree, it probably is. But in reality, you can see Dominic get better and better over time the more that he's been working with Ray in the ring. And this is one of the best matches that they've worked together. Also on part to the fact that the Usos could make anyone look good in a tag team match, you know. They came up with a lot of really amazing fucking spots. Ray had amazing ring gear as always. And I really loved the fucking finish of this, where one of the twins had Ray in a schoolboy pin. and behind the ref's field of vision, the other twin aids the schoolboy by holding on to the rope and using his feet to push on the other twin, aiding the pin. And I saw that and I was like, now that's some ingenuity. That's some shit. I like that.
And let me say this. I was watching it, kind of half watching it because I was preparing dinner and all this other stuff going on. And I'm like, and all of a sudden I hear ding, ding, ding. Oh, no, that's what it was. I was sitting there. I had switched it off because I turned it on. And I was like, oh, pre-show starts at 4. Pay-per-view starts at 5. So I turned it off and I was watching Money in the Bank from 2018, the one when Alexa Bliss won the Money in the Bank, right? The women's Money in the Bank, cashed in on Ronda Rousey, right? Or on Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax. So I was watching that one. And all of a sudden my boy Cole used to do the Raw Impact Unleashed with me. He texts me, hey, dude, what's up? I'm like, what's up? He's like, you doing money? You watching Money in the Bank? And I'm like, yeah, I will at 5. Like when it starts, he goes, no, dude, it's on right now. And I was like, on right now?
What?
I had no clue that there was going to be a pre-show match. So I turned it on.
I didn't think there was either. Yeah.
And sure enough, I turned it on for the last about 4 minutes of that match. And then all of a sudden I see Usos winning. I'm like, I was just like, yes.
I only just got it. Fuck yeah.
Just turned it on. Fucking awesome.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I didn't even get to say as well. No, the shot where one Uso took the 619 for the other. Always love that fucking spot. Done to perfection right there as well. Great. He
sold the hell out of that 619 too.
Good shit.
And was out. Exactly. And I was just like, did he really?
You're supposed to.
Did Ray actually Ray, you might want to check on him. Damn, motherfucker, you just got knocked the fuck out.
You good?
But anyway, but yeah, like it was definitely an interesting match. But that takes us moving forward. That takes us into the actual pay-per-view itself, where we opened up with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. All 7, 7 women?
7 women.
Bliss,
or was it,
Asuka,
I think it was 8. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Bliss, Asuka, Morgan, Naomi, Natalia, Tamina, Vega, and Nikki, almost a superhero. I had to explain that to my daughter. She's like, why is her last name Ash? I'm like, because she's almost a superhero.
Almost a superhero.
Yes. And my daughter another moment with her is she kept calling Alexa Bliss Harley Quinn throughout the entire match. She's like, I'm just going to call her Harley. From now on,
it's easy.
You call her whatever you want, sweetie. But definitely well done. I thought the ending was kind of cute. To be honest with you, I thought the finish was kind of cute. As much as everybody was like, I saw a lot of negative stuff on Facebook and the internet. Oh, the ending was stupid. Why did they give Nikki? Because actually, if you, like we just discussed off air, if you watch the last few weeks of Nikki on Raw and the build to this particular gimmick, it's been pretty obvious that she's going to be put in that main event title picture soon.
It's not even that she's going to get geared up for that. It's that if you look back on it over the past few weeks, the way that she's been winning her matches has been through just barely slipping out with the win. The gimmick here is that she just slipped out with the win again.
Yep. And I loved it. Like I said, it was, because here's what's funny. I didn't call it like Mr. Prognosticator over there. I didn't call it, but I was watching the segment unfold and I saw all the girls fighting each other and nobody's really looking. I was like, wouldn't it be cute if somebody just ran up while all of them was distracted and just grabbed the briefcase? And then next thing I know, here comes Nikki and up the ladder she goes and ding, she smiles for the camera, ding, while everybody else is looking. That had to be a great shot. I would love a still frame.
It was a great shot.
Where she's holding the Money in the Bank ladder match, she's smiling directly into the camera, and all the other women are like, what the fuck
is this? Right, no. It was great physicality. I was really surprised by how many spots Zelina Vega was given. She was given enough focus throughout the entirety of the match that I genuinely saw through the middle of it. And I was like, this could easily be her match, this could easily be her match. She could be taking this home. And they had enough focus on the relationship between Bliss and Nikki and the fact that they were previously a tag team that they didn't completely ignore the context of that. They didn't ignore the context of Natalya and Tamina. There's a lot of angles working with here, and they included every single one of them. And then by paying it off with something that they've been building up, just on the side of all this, which is really fucking funny, you know. So it's not a complete waste. I feel like as long as they cash in on this and they don't treat her wielding the briefcase as big as a joke as the finish, I think this is going to be good, you know.
Kind of like what they did with Otis.
Yeah, like they did with Otis.
Yeah.
But above all else, I feel like it's good to commend Nikki for this, because this gimmick was pitched by her. This gimmick was not given to her. She pitched this gimmick, and that means that they like this gimmick enough to throw the fucking briefcase on her alongside the switch with the gimmick. So, you know, for what it's
narrative
worth,
that Vince McMahon doesn't listen to talent.
Yeah, the brass ring fucking story, right?
Well, no, I'm saying, like, everybody always says Vince McMahon doesn't listen to talent as far as their creative ideas. Obviously, he does, and obviously, sometimes they come up with gimmicks that get them over, and they get them the pushes that they're looking for. But yeah. So let's, like you said, let's see what she does with it, because I thought they kind of made a joke of Otis with the Money in the Bank briefcase. And
that's what I'm saying.
I hope they don't do that to her. I hope they don't.
Exactly. You know, the Money in the Bank briefcase deserves to be taken seriously, especially for the women. You know, as it begins, it's important that the women keep it looking strong. You know, with Carmella holding it and Asuka holding it, they've both held it well. You know.
Yep. All right, so we'll move forward, and I'm going to say this. I'm just going to say this real quick. I am not trying to be critical. This man has made a lot of fucking, how do you say, progress in ring. But y'all either need to get almost more ring time, or you need to take the strap off of him. I love Almost, but he's so very little of their championship defenses that I feel like, as big as he is, he should be more involved. And I understand the dude's still learning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's still, they put him out there because he fit the look, but he didn't necessarily have the skill quite yet. You know, and they're trying to work him in to get him the skill. But man, I'm just like, I'm tired of seeing these matches where AJ gets the shit beat out of him for hella days, and then all of a sudden Almost tags in, destroys everybody, and they win. Okay, I get it. He's a big fucking massive ass dude, but come on. Like give me something more. Give me a match where Almost gets in and he does damage early, and then they fight him off, and then he gets kind of broken down and has to tag in AJ late. And then AJ gets to come in and do the flurry and get the win or something. I don't know, but I just know I'm tired of seeing the same formula with my tag team champs. So they either need to get Almost some more experience, more ring time, or they need to move those titles off of them. Yeah,
you're right. You know, I think Almost is coming. He is coming along, but it is very arduous for somebody to already have the strap on them. You know, once you already have the strap on you, there is a certain thing that you need to uphold here, and this would be different if we were talking about someone in NXT, but we are not. This is the main roster on a B show pay-per-view, still coming along in the middle of the year. And so, yeah, you're right. To that, I do say, he is still very green and still trying to get an understanding of this. It's great that he's working with someone as experienced as Styles, and working against a tag team that can carry him to a good match like the Viking Raiders, as great as they fucking are. But the only thing that Almost did different in this match than he has in the last ones was he was in first. And that's it that I can think of, you know, and he did show like one or two, three more moves of offense, but you're right, you know, it is the same beat that it has been since Mania at this point, and they got to speed it up or take it off.
Yep. Amen.
You know, he's not a bad worker, but there's always room for improvement. Yeah.
Very much so. Viking Raiders look strong as always. Just sucks that they didn't win their titles back, but it's good to see both of them back in the ring again and competing.
Yeah, man.
Now let's move on to our first major championship of the night, and that was Bobby Lashley. Yes, Bobbis Lashley. Good. Yes,
Bobbis Lashley.
With MVP beating Kofi Kingston by slaughter.
By slaughter.
At a certain point, there was no need for what he did and how he did it. It was like Kofi was dead like 2 Dominators ago, dude. Like dead.
Literally. This
Like,
was like you know that this is literally that GIF of the fucking Simpsons. Stop, he's already dead.
yeah,
Like no,
exactly.
this was 7.5 minutes of Kofi getting fucking murdered by a Titan. You know,
Yeah.
and it kills me because going into this, my mom was like, "Nah, they made Xavier look good. There's gonna be some sort of chance for Kofi here," and I was like, "No, they fed Kofi to Brock. They're gonna feed Brock. They're gonna feed Kofi to Lashley.
And
Logically, they're just going to, looking back on who they've already fed to Lashley. And I don't mean like who Lashley's beaten. I mean who Lashley has fucking squashed and eaten out alive. Nah. This was gonna happen, and I saw it coming. And by the time it was midway through it, I was like, nah.
here's my deal with it. I would have rather seen a Brock Lesnar type match. I'll be honest with you. I really would have. Like Kofi jumped at Brock. Brock hit him with an F5 and pinned him. Like it was like a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
It was like 46 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Why continue to let Bobby just beat on this man like that? Like
you're right.
It wasn't right. Like,
right,
I remember, and I've said
wrong.
this. I on multiple occasions was just like, I've on multiple occasions on this show and on Raw Impact have mentioned the fact that for me, brutal beatdowns don't always go over well. They don't always sit well with me. I understand what their purpose is, but they don't always sit well with me because like it just becomes hard to watch sometimes. Yeah. And this was one of those times for me where it was just, it's not because, oh, I like Kofi so much. Oh, Kofi's such a great wrestler. It's not even about all that. It's just, there just wasn't a need
it's just hard
for
to
it.
watch.
Yeah. And we get it. Bobby Lashley is a badass. Like we got that 6 slams ago. Like we get it. Like can Kofi get a kick? Like can Kofi just get a kick? Like you ain't gotta sell it, Bobby. Just let him get a kick.
Just let him get one in. No, you're right. It was oh man. See,
yeah.
The upside is this. I do question this though. They're very clearly trying to keep Bobby looking real good for something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's clear that Seth Rollins has his eyes set on Edge or Reigns, that whole scene, whatever the fuck is going on there.
Yeah.
And it's very clear that we have Cena invested in this Roman Reigns thing.
Yeah.
And so at this point, theoretically, if Goldberg and or Brock, either rumored people, were to return, logically it's pretty safe to assume that they would probably be putting Lashley over.
Probably
either one of them. If you look at the space and everything that they have lined up and everything that's in the main event scene right now, and with how strong they've booked Lashley at this point, despite how quickly everyone thought he was going to drop it to Drew and everything, I can say confidently if they're both trying to keep them in the limelight like this, I think either Drew or Lashley, I can see them going up against Brock and or Gilbert.
I'm going to secure your point with one thing. Who did Goldberg come back and put over last time? The WWE champion, Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
Done. Right there. Like,
who's left for him to put over? Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. Yep. Which, by the way, just for a quick funny, I told you I was watching the 2018 Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hadn't forgotten about the feud, but I had completely forgotten that that's when the Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn feud
I was going to say, that's when the Zayn versus Lashley feud was happening. I was going to say, that's the fucking crash course fucking bullshit. Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. I was just like, that's the bomb right there. I watched
my 3 beautiful sisters.
It was interesting. It was interesting in the same night seeing Bobby Lashley now WWE champion and Bobby Lashley then. Bobby Lashley's gotten a lot bigger.
Oh, he has.
Like up top. He's gotten a lot thicker since he became WWE champion. I was like, wow,
he's still on some meat, bro.
Now, on the same note, Cena looks like he's trimmed down.
Cena, I was gonna say, I took one look at Cena and I was like, he looks a bit skinny, doesn't he?
Like Cena normally had the ever since he was the Captain Project or whatever he was like.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. This is horrible. It was the specimen or some shit.
Yeah, like when he was in FCW. Like he's thick like that. Like Cena's always been thick like that. Nah, he's like you say, he seems like he's trimmed down.
Yeah, and I was gonna say it's weird. It's not even that like he's taking time off of wrestling, which is the obvious answer. No, if you remember like a year and a half, 2 years ago, when he was still doing Hollywood really, really, really hard, he still got really ripped at that time too. So like he's leaned down a lot since that. Oh, yeah. But we'll talk Cena when that comes around though.
Bro, sorry to do this to you live on air.
No, go.
Keith Lee just answered Bobby Lashley's open challenge.
Oh, yes.
Bask in his glory.
He's back.
Yes.
He's back.
Yes. My man is back. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And he's taking on Lashley. Give him Lashley. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm here for it. I'm here for it all. Let's go.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
Oh, Glory has returned. you just got a real Mark reaction there, live on air.
There you go.
To Keith Lee returning. But anyway, yeah. Evidently, they said there's a bunch of surprises that WWE has been
putting in the chamber.
Yeah, has been putting in the chamber for when they went back to live crowds, and I guess this was one of them. I'm assuming.
A few months ago, one of the last reports I heard was that they've literally been holding their cards on like 4 or 5 things purely until they go back to TV. And obviously, we now see one of those things was Finn Balor. The other was clearly Keith fucking Lee.
Yep. Oh, also, bro, they just announced Karrion Kross is making his Raw debut tonight.
I was gonna say Karrion Kross is making his Raw debut because he's
just that damn good.
He's moving up already. They got a good interest in him, man.
There's only been, if I remember correctly, there's only been 2 people that have been brought up to the main roster while NXT champ.
There you go.
Karrion Kross, and I want to say
Kevin Owens. I was going to say there's only been one other person, and that's Kevin Owens. That's when Kevin Owens came up with it, said, "Fuck you, I'm taking the U.S. title with me," and then took both back down to NXT.
Yeah.
Because he's just that damn good.
So you got to have some pull in order to be able to come, or not pull, but you got to have some talent in order to be able to come up to the main roster.
Yeah,
with what I'm saying with that. So
you're right. Man, he's got that main event look. Oh man, I'm juiced.
I'm so juiced. Like bask in his glory, baby. All right, so we're going to stop there as far as matches with Money in the Bank, and we'll come back on the second half of the show with the rest of Money in the Bank and the main event. That was easily, as far as I'm concerned, another Roman Reigns classic that should be up for Match of the Year.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we're gonna get into that one. You hold your thoughts there. You hold your thoughts on that.
But we got that to look forward to. We got the Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley match to look forward to talk about on the second half. A match that and then what was the other match? It was those two, and then it was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match was sandwiched in between those 2 matches. I thought this was a very well put together card. Like as far as
very well put together. Like in terms of like synergy and placement. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I thought
perfect pacing.
So I was just like, like WWE back on track. Like fuck the haters. Literally. I don't care what anybody says.
Was a crowd. What no crowd does to a motherfucker.
I'll tell you this, bro. It's funny. Here's something to close out this segment with. I saw a dude that was stupid enough to say to another dude, he said something about Cena in WWE, ha ha ha. And this dude had the nerve to say to the dude, "Don't worry, he'll eventually leave WWE and come to AEW too. All the rest of them are." And I was like, "Okay, dude, you're a fucking moron." There are certain people that will never wrestle in AEW. Roman Reigns, Undertaker.
There was that episode where I was like, to the motherfuckers saying Roman Reigns to AEW, you better be ironic. Like you're fucking stupid. Like they're saying Randy Orton to AEW. Like it's never gonna fucking happen, mate.
Never. There are just certain people that will never, ever, ever end up landing in AEW. And it's not because they don't like, it's because they're perfectly happy in WWE. That was my main point of what I went off on the dude about. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Stop acting like every wrestler in WWE isn't happy.
Literally.
There's a good portion of wrestlers that are perfectly happy wrestling for WWE. So stop acting like every wrestler is unhappy and looking to get out and come to AEW. There's a lot of wrestlers. 70% of WWE's roster has zero. Okay, timer done. Has zero fucking clue or zero fucking interest in joining AEW ever.
Literally. Especially much less the diehards.
and trust me, Malachi Black wouldn't be with AEW right now had WWE not chosen to release him. He was happy in WWE.
Yep. So that was their choice.
Yep. All right, y'all. So
right
get back at us after this break.
With the second half.
And we'll be back with the second half. Peace.
Peace.
Are back. That's right, myself, this pretty face that is K double K, baby. And the young man that works to my left, that is the man Alpha. How you doing, brother?
The young blood of the group, yes sir. Now we get into the high gear, the third gear of the show. We get to the main event. The final three matches of this were definitely filled with what I would call the most buzz out of the entire show.
That's correct. That's correct. You had a women's championship match, you had the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and you had the Universal Championship match. All three matches were hot. By this point in the night, the crowd was hot. Like, remember what I said earlier about how the crowd built. By this point, the crowd's now getting to that lukewarm, they've moved up from lukewarm to warm, from warm to slightly hot. Before they exploded for that main event. So let's get to that listing there. And we opened it up with
that women's match.
That women's match. Exactly the best way you could say it, bro. That women's match. Charlotte Flair. Charlotte fucking Flair. Defeats Rhea Ripley
Ripley.
by submission for the Raw Women's Championship. It was an amazing match. It truly was. I cannot say enough about Rhea Ripley in this match. I cannot say enough about how much she gave us in this match. I cannot say enough how good of a show her and Charlotte Flair put on.
You're right.
And the crowd going back and forth with Charlotte, the We Want Becky chants, like, bravo. Bravo to the whole
heat was there. All the heat was there.
Yep. And you could tell the crowd wasn't happy with Charlotte winning. And that's a good thing. Because Charlotte's not supposed to be liked.
Yeah.
She's like Thanos. She's inevitable.
She's inevitable. I am not a wrestler. I am a force of nature.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I really liked the physicality of this match. It was a clinic in every sense of the word. You know, it's really important that Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley are given the 20-minute fucking gap that they're given to do this, because they're amazing wrestlers, and they've wrestled each other a good bit now. But despite that, they think of a lot of different ways to keep things new and ad-lib on their previous products and do the whole I'm learning your moves and you're learning mine, up until the point where we're just countering each other for 4.5 minutes. It's a nice little thing it's a nice little story to run with, and they're doing it really, really well at this point. And at this point, they've really managed to give Rhea Ripley her heat back, you know? Yeah. At least up until the end of this. No, they did a great job of giving Rhea Ripley her heat back throughout the entirety of this match and making her look real strong. And I just want to say that the entire pacing of this match was really, really snug and really tight. You know, everything looked really sandbaggy. You know, there was like the first few minutes of the match, you can see Rhea Ripley takes a spill out to the ring and just flat out throws herself right onto her fucking back, and then leans up against the barricade, and Charlotte very fucking snugly just batters her ass running at her. It's good looking stuff, you know. It was a good looking match that was put together. I do question if it was a good idea to have Rhea Ripley lose so clean, and lose so clean in the middle of the ring, no ropes around, no injury buildup or anything like that. Besides Charlotte Flair picking apart the leg, but I do like the fact that Charlotte didn't celebrate after this. I kind of like the fact that the match finished and Charlotte was given the title, and she just nonchalantly scoots herself out the middle of the ropes and holds it up like she doesn't quite care about it. Yeah. Doesn't say anything, doesn't get explosive about it like she used to. She just holds it up and has this almost hollow look in her eyes. And I
what it should be.
Yeah, and I kind of like it. It's like this complacency at being too good. I call it the Michael Jordan effect, you know? Michael Jordan peaked in basketball and was like, I've literally done everything that I've wanted to do. I'm gonna go play golf.
Yeah, like
it's the Michael Jordan effect. You get bored of being so good, and I kind of like that them dipping into the self-awareness that Charlotte Flair is in kayfabe more of a law of nature than she is a competitor. So at least they're self-aware in this, and I hope that they're leaning into that for her character. You know,
I would love to see it. I would love to see them continue on with that.
Yeah.
Now, this next match, man, I tell you, this next match gave me my mark out moment for the night.
Yeah.
For the night. Big E was, man, I'm gonna let you take off first. Hold on real quick.
Oh man. God, man, this match was such a well put together piece of work, you know. There's a reason why everybody up to this point is saying that the match is as good as it was. And rightfully so. You know, the match was so well paced from starting to end. You see, I believe it was Morrison and Rollins. And Rollins forged a mini alliance and started working against everybody else here. And so you had everybody getting their spots in, despite the fact that you had two slimy heels working at this. And so you immediately have this story running of Morrison and Rollins being these disgusting type of heels. And then you have characters like Owens and E and Ricochet working against them. And for the start, I do want to say I wish Ricochet and Riddle got some more in this. I really wish they got some more spots in this. But I am happy to see that Nakamura and Owens got as much time with this as they did.
Oh,
they're
my
so
God.
consistently building up Owens as the valiant, baby-face, gritty motherfucker, and they need to keep this going. At this point, Owens is damn near being built up to be as believable as a face as Roman Reigns is a heel. And it's fucking great because they've been building it up for over a year, so they got to keep rolling with that. But this whole King Nakamura thing actually is kind of growing on me. But
Rick Boogs,
and you know, Riddle's wavy ass RKO is actually kind of growing on me too. Like the way he does it is the way he kind of floats into it. I like it. I do like it. And then obviously, you know, as a small tidbit running through this match, me and my amazing significant other are currently running through Lucha Underground. Everybody knows that Lucha Underground's gimmick is that they take a wrestler from the indies, slap a mask on him. You're now a different guy. I realized through watching Lucha Underground, something hit me in the fucking head that King Cuerno is actually a young Santos Escobar in a mask. And I realized this just like, as I'm going to go with here, I saw the tattoo on his back shoulder and I was like, wait a minute, I seen that shit. Looked it up, and lo and behold, it was Santos Escobar. I only bring up this context because my girlfriend has not realized up to this point that Prince Puma and Ricochet are one and the same. up until this match, and she saw Ricochet do a moonsault off the rope right there, and she was like, "Wait a minute, I've seen that tattoo." And in that moment, it was put together, and yeah, I just want to explain that because I did like that spot a lot too. Ricochet taking a great fucking dive as always, right?
Sorry, Drew McIntyre is beating the shit out of one of Jinder Mahal's people. So
was it into share?
Yeah,
the big motherfuckers. Let's not forget to bring that up too. But please share some of your thoughts.
So yeah, it was pretty interesting to me because there was a second, and yes, they led me to this like a horse to water. There was a second in which I thought this was going to be Drew McIntyre's night. That we're going to get McIntyre, and then he's going to cash in and win back.
He's going right back to the main event scene.
Right. But then all of a sudden, when he goes to go get it, all of a sudden here come Veer and Shahid, the what is it, Jinder Mahal's goons, to drag him down, smack him down, and then Jinder Mahal comes out with a chair and beats him down, and they just take off with him.
Literally,
like they literally just drag him off to the background, and like you never see Drew McIntyre.
The moment that they dragged him away, one of my friends was like, "Is this normal in wrestling? Like, is this allowed for people to be like just drug off and like mysteriously taken to the shadows, never to be seen again for the rest of the match?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's part for the course. Don't worry about it."
Welcome to the Shadow Realm.
I just watched a motherfucker get reverse Guantanamo Bay'd, and I was like, "Yes."
And they did it right in front of everybody.
Nobody did nothing. Nobody did shit about it.
People cheered them on.
They cheered. Wrestling, boys, wrestling.
Oh yes, it's amazing. Yes, and everybody gave us a little bit of something. And that ending, like I said, this was the match that I marked out for more than anything else. Like you said, when he hit that big ending on who was it? Rollins.
He hit it on Seth.
When he hit that big ending from the whatchamacallit,
top of the ladder.
From the top of the ladder on Seth Rollins, and then got right back up. I was like, it's time.
Is it? This is it.
It's time. And then he climbed up to the top and he unlatched it. And I was like, it's fucking time.
Shit.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Yeah, no, the very second that he lifted Seth up for the big ending, I was like, no, after this big flurry, no, that's it. This is E's match. And then instead of selling the fatigue, he started climbing. I was like, no, this is E's match. This is fucking E's match. Lo and behold, he got it. Leaving to one of the biggest pop-offs in recent memory. Almost as good as the infamous John Cena face when he holds it up over his head. Big E's pop off of him grabbing it was chef kiss.
Okay. Understand, I had one of those Hollywood movie moments.
Literally.
Going back to Big E is NXT champ. Big E is fucking
as IC champ. in 2014.
Hold on, Big E as AJ Lee's
I was
bodyguard.
gonna say AJ Lee and Dolph's fucking muscle.
And then Big E is the Intercontinental Champion, and then him as a multi-time tag team champion with New Day, and then winning the IC belt recently. It just all flashed in like 30 seconds while he was climbing that ladder. It all flashed in front of my eyes, and I came to with him holding the briefcase, and I was like, "It's time!
Oh my fucking god!
It's time. To quote John Cena, your time is up. My time is now.
Mm-hmm.
We will, God willing, one day see the Big E is either Universal or WWE champ, and that will be a beautiful day in the history of this company. It will be. They have to make it happen.
And I do want to say that up to this point as well, I haven't looked back on it, but looking back on weekly television and everything leading up to the, I'm very glad that he lost the IC title the way he did at the time he did to properly build up to this. And when he lost it, we both agreed, like, this is more than fine, so long as they keep pushing this E train and they keep pushing this train and they keep that rocket strapped to his back. And they did exactly that right here. And I hope and pray, because over these last few years, they have not taken the men's Money in the Bank briefcase too fucking seriously. And even up to this year, with what The Miz did, that was still a slimy sort of, and the way that he lost the title after, it wasn't taken that seriously. And then we go before that, we have Otis. We go before that, we have Brock Lesnar. Before that, we go towards ones like Baron Corbin, who lost it to Cena. We haven't had a good last few years with it. So I think it's very important that E makes the briefcase look fucking good again.
Yeah.
And, to quote someone who talked about it recently, when Rob Van Dam was given the Money in the Bank briefcase in 06, or 05 or 06, 04, one of those years. The whole point of it was that Rob Van Dam would climb to the very top of that ladder, fighting a bunch of other stars, and he would get that briefcase, and he would take that briefcase with the dream of reviving ECW. And then he went to One Night Stand and won the WWE Championship to revive ECW.
Yeah.
We saw CM Punk and Edge in the early years use the briefcase as such a good storytelling device. And then we saw Seth Rollins pull the heist of the century. And I tell people all the time, you see people say all the time, and they throw that promo all around, how great the heist of the century was. You know why the heist of the century was so good? Because it's the last good cash-in the past, 11 fucking years.
Of the money and it was at WrestleMania. Like, that made it huge. Like, it very rarely ever gets, because here's the thing about it. Here's a storyline I don't think I've ever seen. And primarily because Money in the Bank has become its own pay-per-view. Now, Money in the Bank used to be a WrestleMania thing.
Exactly.
I used to always want to see somebody win it at WrestleMania and hold it till the next WrestleMania and cash it in. You know what I'm saying? Like even so far as to put the briefcase away and let people forget about it. And then all of a sudden, right after the main event of WrestleMania, here comes the dude with the Money in the Bank case, rolling it out and winning the championship. I've always wanted to see that storyline, but now with the way Money in the Bank is, and like I said, with it being a pay-per-view instead of a special event at WrestleMania, we'll probably never get to see that.
Yeah, I feel that the closest that we did get was Carmella, if I'm not mistaken, who has the longest, who has the record for holding it the longest. And if I'm not mistaken, I remember she held it, I believe, until a week and a half, 2 weeks removed, until she legally had to give it up and she couldn't use it anymore.
True, huh? Yeah, true, huh? Yeah.
If you remember,
well, Carmella, you could say Otis because he never cashed in his. No,
technically not. Neither did Sandow or Kennedy. Then
true. But no, I feel you. You know what though? I can't say that I did not enjoy the promos when Mr. Kennedy was Mr. Money in the Bank. Like, those were some really good ones.
He was always good. He was always good on the mic. You give Ken Kennedy a mic, and he's gonna bring the fucking house down.
He was one of those ones that had the potential to be another Rock or like Austin, and unfortunately, unfortunately, just screwed up his chance. I'm gonna say this really quickly, and you can drop an idea on it before we move on to the main event.
Shoot.
Well, I'll say, damn it, I lost what I was gonna say. Oh well, let's move on to the main event. Roman Reigns and Edge put on a wrestling clinic in one of the most classic matches that I've ever seen in my life. These matches make me say I don't understand why people say Roman Reigns can't wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Like him and Edge put on a wrestling match.
Yep. Classic shit.
And so it's just like I don't see how. I don't understand where it comes from. But I love the idea that the family is now complete. Roman sits as the head of the table as Universal Champion with the Usos. And you notice they book in the pay-per-view with it.
There you go. I was going to say, it's very important that Roman bookended the pay-per-view here. Very important.
And behind him stands the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. My boy Cole brought up, he texted me right after the Usos won. He goes, now they need to give Tamina the Raw Women's Championship. And I was like, and then you could have Naomi win the SmackDown Women's Championship. And then you have to give me the picture. And then who was it?
Now
and
then now that's just AEW's Nightmare Family at this point.
But we did what was funny was we didn't do the WWE Championship and we didn't do the Intercontinental or US Championship. We just stuck with the Usos as tag. We were just talking about all the family wearing gold. He left Nia Jax out of it because he doesn't like Nia Jax. He wants to send her back to NXT. But
she hurts motherfuckers.
But he used Naomi in her place because Naomi is a member of the family, being that she's married to one of the Usos.
She's right. I mean, he's right. He's right.
So, but he said, but I was like, yeah, now give me all of that, and then give me them posing in one photo with all the gold with the family right there, with Roman standing at the front. So also another thing to talk about is the fact that I heard, I forget where, that Roman Reigns is supposedly going to be in a tag team match with The Rock, but not like you would think at WrestleMania this year, potentially. Somebody was bringing up it would be a good way to protect The Rock, from injury. Yeah, physically. Yeah. But the thing would be that Roman would face The Rock and one of the Uso brothers with probably The Rock and Jimmy versus Roman and Jay, and basically for who's the head of the table of the family.
I like that. That'd make a lot of sense as to why they're putting so much focus on building up all three of them,
Yeah. Well, this was brought up in regards to, real quick. This was brought up in regards to
the whole Rock
Jay. Yeah, Jay being brought back so quickly after the DUI. And there seeming to be no repercussions for the whole DUI thing.
Good job bringing that up. Roll right into what I'm going for. There you go. I was going to say, it's very important that they haven't really given a punishment to him for that. I'm not going to be the dude that says that he needs a punishment. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you look at WWE's past and what they do to people if they fail violations, they usually give them some sort of storyline repercussion just to slap them on the wrist and say, here's your embarrassment and your humiliation. Don't do it again, bro.
Yep.
They didn't do that this time. Besides one thing.
What?
I don't know if you saw, but there was a little promo in the middle of the pay-per-view after they won the belts. And it's really fucking important because all three of them were talking and Roman was like, this is good, but I did the heavy lifting and the easy part is over. Now comes the hard part, and that's holding on to those. And he starts railing off different things, and he's like, I'm doing the heavy lifting, look what I did, and then look what you guys have done. And he's like, look at you, Jimmy, look what you did, and you weren't anything on your own, and you can do anything on your own, and you want to be rebellious and do shit like this. And he looks over at Jay, and he just says, and you, and then just shakes his head while they all go dead fucking silent before Roman picks back up and talks about something completely different. And he's like,
wow,
we're the family now, and we just got to stick together. And then they do that hug that they did a few weeks ago on SmackDown.
Yeah.
That one where they were hugging and then it pans and you can see Roman just dead-eyed staring Kubrick style into the distance. Now the camera pans in the opposite direction and Jay was staring holes into the fucking distance.
Yep.
That's a very important story beat with this shit, because now that you said that, keep all that in mind.
Yeah, like it very well could. You're 100% right, and it would be an interesting way to close out that storyline because, yeah, and here's the thing about it though is I don't think that Roman loses.
Yeah,
I think The Rock's coming in to put over Roman.
Yeah.
And so I think we see Roman get the win. But this is great storytelling. Like I told the guy, I was like, you sit here and act like everybody, like I was talking to you about the guy I was talking to online. I'm like, you sit here and act like everybody's unhappy in WWE. The only people that are unhappy and ready to jump ship are mid-carders who think that they belong in the main event. And they know for a fact that it's most likely not happening anytime soon. Right. And so they jump ship and want to go to AEW where they can immediately be put in the main event picture and do what they want to do and so on and so forth. Or people looking for more creative control, which is not unreasonable by any stretch of the imagination. It's not unreasonable to want more creative control, but it doesn't make WWE bad for being a place where their writers have more creative control. Yeah, because guess what? If you, once again, just like in any job, if you can come up with a good enough idea and pitch it to your boss, sometimes he listens to you. And if your idea works, guess what? When you talk to your boss again with another idea, he's going to be more inclined to listen to you. That's the way it works in WWE. If you pitch something to Vince McMahon and it fails, Vince may never trust you what you have to say again. But if you pitch something to Vince McMahon and it works, it very well may get you his ear again and again. Now, I'm pretty sure Roman has pitched some things to Vince that have worked. And Vince has said, all right, kid, with your family lineage, with what I've seen of you so far, yeah, we can work with you. And so when he came to him with this head of the table idea, I'm pretty sure he had Vince's ear. As many years of loyal service he's given Vince, I'm pretty sure he had Vince's ear, which is why we're seeing Roman Reigns' personal idea come to fruition.
Right. Well, wrestling is a weird business based off of loyalty and respect and courtesy and all those types of things. And, you know, it's all about proving that you can be trusted with the reins of that control. Pun intended. But well, yes, the match came down to an amazing final 10, 15 minutes, you know, as Roman matches go, you know, 30-minute clinic god at this point. We spend the first 15 minutes getting a feel for each other and an amazing sense of build-up before we spend the next like 17 minutes beating the absolute dog shit out of each other with, at this point, chair appendages.
Yeah, pretty much. Whatever we can fucking get our hands on.
Yeah,
and that's what made...
Oh, go.
No, I was going to say that's what made the match great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a bunch of middle-aged men beating the absolute dog shit out of each other with stuff. It's stuff at its best. And I do like very much that Edge has turned into the next page of his career, labeling it the Iconoclast, which is really fucking cool. And I really like that for the name of this like weird, demented sort of weird mountain men, bearded, angry Edge. You know, this punished Edge that we have.
Yeah. All right, so before we close this out, because our timer is done, so I'll let us run a little over for this half. Let's talk about what happened right after the match. As Roman's celebrating his victory over Edge.
Them trumpets.
The music hits. I thought they were going to wait until Friday night to bring out Cena.
Yeah.
I would say it definitely was a surprise that he came out. And I love the fact that, see, and this is what I miss about old school wrestling. Not everything has to be said. And Roman Reigns and and John Cena understand that.
You know, that's one way of putting it. You know, at first I was like, they didn't have him say nothing or do nothing. Yeah. And you know,
the king of promos.
Yeah. You know, after the fact, if I think about it a little more like Chris Jericho coming around in 2013 and saying nothing just to get a pop, you know what? I can think, when I think about it like that, that's more digestible. You know what?
Well, for me, it just made sense because it wasn't about what he said. It was just kind of him walking out. All right, guess who's next?
Establishing
You know,
presence.
establishing presence. And then he just kind of stops in the middle of the ring, looks at Roman Reigns, looks him up and down, smiles, looks at him, gives him the "you can't see me," and walks
Back on
out.
the turnbuckle.
Yep. And so it was just like, it was kind of a little smack in the face, like, I'm here for them, not you.
Mm.
Like you ain't even on my level. Like,
Not
and
even
I'm
looking
like,
in
all
your
right.
direction, buff.
And it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny because guess what? A few years back, that was Roman Reigns' cousin doing the same thing to John Cena
Ironic.
and putting him over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you ain't on my level. Like, but it elevated Cena, and I believe it will elevate Reigns even more. You know, this will be an epic clash in Las Vegas, and I can't wait for it. And the promos that are coming between now and then are going to be fucking epic.
Oh, it's gonna be fucking bueno.
So,
But you know, as a final tidbit to that, you know, it is absolutely possible that Cena is doing what Cena does, and he's coming back for a one and done. But I do think it's important to establish just one final little curiosity here in this situation. You know, it was teased that Karrion Kross and Cena did want to have a duke out together. And I do think it is kind of curious that they're coming back within about 3 days of each other. Or more importantly, one is coming back, more accurate, one is coming back and one is debuting just within 3 days of each other.
And Cena did show up this week on Raw.
Yep, and did show up on Raw, and Karrion Kross is coming to Raw.
So, yeah, he just beat Jeff Hardy in a one-on-one match.
Keep it out for that one.
But yeah, I will keep an eye out for that. I will think that. I think his next battle is going to be Roman Reigns at whatchamacallit, but I can see Cena sticking around. You know, he may be done with movies for a little bit. I can see him sticking around and moving on to fighting a Karrion Kross or somebody like that. I would love to see it. New matchup works for me.
Exactly.
But I can say this, man. I was thoroughly impressed. It kind of was the same thing with Goldberg and Lashley today, in sense of how they built that. So WWE, you're doing a great job. Continue it on. You have flaws. We all have flaws, but you're doing a damn good job.
Keeping it rolling.
You're doing a great job of making sure that. Hold on.
All good.
Doing a great job of making sure that the fans are entertained and giving them some of what they want, maybe some of what they don't. So keep it up. Keep it up.
Yeah, man.
Any last words for him, Alpha?
Oh, right. You know how it goes, my people. We're only just starting to get cooler out here, and I'm waiting on it. So please be safe. And more importantly, I am ending my subscription to Farouk and Bradshaw Protective Services, and I'm investing in Samoan Joseph Protective Agency. Oh, goodbye, my people. Peace.
Peace.